Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Duster Squad podcast. I'm just doing a couple little things here because I did an update, and there we go. What's up, guys? It has been actually about 2 months. I looked at the last time we streamed, and it was about 2 months. So that's yeah. It was right before the end of the first round, I believe. It was like
Yes,
April
because
20.
we
It
were
was like
talking
April
about
22nd. So we're
second round
April
matchups.
20th. Yeah.
Yeah. So a
Um,
lot has changed since then.
yes, a lot has happened. Many
Most of the
incorrect
playoffs.
things. Yeah, yeah, the rest of the playoffs. Yeah, and that's actually where we're gonna start. So, once again, the Florida Panthers take it, and they go back to back, which I hate. And I'll start right away with this question that I've heard on multiple other shows, and that was which back to back is more, impressive, whatever. The Lightning or Panthers. And I will give you my own answer first, and I hate to say it, it's the Florida Panthers. They do it in 2 full seasons. Both of the final, the Oilers teams that they had to beat in the finals were better than either of the teams the Lightning had to beat.
What are you talking?
And that's kind of just the situation. Yeah. No offense, Benny.
I'd have the 21 Habs over these Oilers any day. No, I'm kidding.
That being said, I take the 2021 Tampa Bay Lightning. I think would beat either of these Panthers teams. Just saying. But
fair enough.
But we'll never know. We will never know. So
hell of a run for Florida hockey in general, though. Like, what the fuck? So it was 2021, and then Tampa was in it in 22, but then lost in the final. 23, Florida was in it, but lost in the final, and then last 2 years win it.
Yes. So I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I thought of a funny way to explain it, or to kind of like put it into perspective. The last time a Florida team was not representing the East, the team coming out of the East into the Stanley Cup final was the Boston Bruins. Playing the St. Louis Blues in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how long it's been. It's been 6 years. It's been over half a decade now that a Florida team is coming out of the East straight. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, I don't know how that happens, but
yes, because as we all know, in 21, the Habs were the Western Conference champions.
Yeah. The Habs won the is it the
Western
the
Conference
Campbell
trophy? I don't remember
Clarence
which one
Campbell?
is which.
I know that's one of them.
I think Prince of Wales is the other, and then
maybe the Prince of Wales is the West. Yeah. Well, hey, congrats to those to the 2021 Habs on the Western Conference finalists.
Yeah, that was a goofy year.
That's pretty funny.
That was a really
that was a weird year, and that's why I say I think the Panthers have done it in more legitimate seasons than the Lightning did. But hey, everybody could have done it.
The one is the Clarence Campbell Bowl, so I don't
That's
remember
the
what
Clarence
the
Campbell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prince of Wales, is it not?
Yeah, Prince of Wales.
So the Prince of Wales is the East then?
Yeah.
Well, hot dog. But hey, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the Panthers, man? They just do it.
Yeah, they're just good. I think the biggest difference maker is, like, I was looking back to, it was that crazy series when they made it to the Cup final and lost to Vegas, right? That was the playoff run, though, where Alex Lyon was their starting goalie, and everyone was like, guys, Sergei Bobrovsky was kind of a meme, right? Like, no one really, like, he was in theory good, but, like, hadn't really shown it yet. And then all of a sudden, he just emerged at the end of that series. You know, he came in for Alex Lyon. They won. They made it to the Cup final and they lost. But ever since then, he's a playoff. And that's what I remember most about. I mean, not to, like, go back to the conversation we just had, but the thing about those Tampa teams that I remember the most is Vasilevsky's numbers. He was like unbeatable in elimination games. It was like he had the amount of shutouts and other things that he had, but like
Yeah, dude. It was like 8 elimination or 8
yeah,
like series clinching games in a row. He got a shutout or something. It was ridiculous.
yeah. And Florida, like the Panthers, right? I think they're missing piece because I mean they've had just like Tampa, right? Tampa went through a lot of heartbreak before doing well in the playoffs, right? And Florida kind of did the same thing. They, hell, in college in 2015, they lost to the Islanders on John Tavares' wraparound goal to send the Isles to the second round. Like the Panthers have been kind of like sniffing around in the playoffs and usually are okay in the regular season, at least like over the past, I don't want to say decade, but like close to that. And then finally everything came together and they have their goalie. And yeah, just the way they play defense. I've never seen a team play better team defense. It's not just about having studs on defense. They just like smother you. Watching an Oilers team that doesn't like entertain you offensively doesn't feel real. Like it's like how could a team with McDavid and Draisaitl and the speed at which they like used against Dallas and Vegas and all those other teams, how can they look like ineffective or like they're not even? And somehow Florida does that. So, right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I gotta say, I have not ever seen a team that is getting outplayed so much and then gets one chance
Mhm.
and it goes in. It's like, damn it. That's just what they do,
They
man.
know exactly what they need to do
They
at
do.
any given moment.
That they do. That they do.
do.
Yeah. So Panthers back to back. Nick, you have any thoughts about that there?
Not anything different than what anybody else has said. It's it'll be interesting to see next year if they are able to bring back Bennett and Marchand and try and run it back again. I mean, Bennett says he's not leaving, so who knows?
Yeah, but you got to figure out monetarily how that's all going
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
But
we'll have to see
I
when
guess
somebody puts a
the
big
interesting
stack of
question
cash
is,
in front of him.
yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, do you want to stay here in Florida and build something, Sam? We got to kind of make it work though, so like maybe like 7 mil a year. Like, yeah, we'll do that, and then somebody else, what about 10? No.
Yeah, you start getting
Just want a Conn Smythe, like he's gonna get paid some stupid
and
money
that's
by
just per the
somebody.
year. Like if they're like, what
Yeah,
about 10 times 8? It's like, oh dear.
yeah,
You're signing
Yeah.
an $80 million deal. Ooh,
Yeah.
doggy.
Yeah.
yeah. But what do you guys think of Marchand, Bennett, and Ekblad? Who do you think's coming back for Florida?
I think
'Cause they're all UFAs.
so. I think Ekblad would be an absolute fool to not just stay there because as much as he, is a good player, like he is not gonna. I don't see him fetching a whole lot on the UFA market. He's tough. He's big. He plays mean. So that's all good. But
He
I
also
just don't.
cheats and takes steroids.
Yes.
Performance
What's
enhancement.
that?
Sorry.
PEDs, gentlemen.
Yeah.
He is up in the PEDs.
Mm.
But I don't see him like if I'm him, I'm like, dude, just give me like 5 million and I'll stay here and I'll retire here and
Oh,
we'll
I think he could.
win.
Well, that's the thing. I think the level of money like Marchand and Bennett could make by going elsewhere is not. It's much more than the level of money Ekblad could make going elsewhere instead of Florida, if that makes sense. Like
I don't know how
Yes.
much like Marchand's also getting older, so it's like maybe he just
Yeah,
doesn't
but
want
did
to
you
play
watch the
here.
playoffs he just did?
Dude, he was
That doesn't matter.
every game he went out and played, he was stuffing money in his pants, dude.
Yeah. That specifically that where he did the windmill. Who did he do a windmill deke over?
Oh my
like, where
gosh,
he, like,
who was that? I think it was
and then just-
Wallman. I think it was Jake
Jake Wallman.
Wallman. He
I don't know,
just owned him,
ended
dude.
man's life on the ice. Like,
That was insane. I was watching that. I was like,
that was the turning point for me in that series. I like as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, oh no,
It's
oh
done.
this. I'm
It's done.
sorry, Oilers. We're wrapping things up here, huh? Yeah, no,
It's done.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was pretty ridiculous. I would say in most likely to return, I would say is Ekblad, then Bennett, then Marchand. Because
right.
because Marchand has like no loyalty to that
Right. He
situation
just
at all.
dropped in.
He just came in.
and yeah.
And on top of that, he has been one of the on one of the team friendliest deals ever
Yes.
ever since he started playing.
He's
never
been
taken a huge deal.
pretty underpaid for
Yeah.
what he brings.
Like I think it's like
underpaid
6.6
over
or
the course of
something
his career.
was
Yeah.
his last deal.
And as I think Nick was saying, dude's old.
He is
So
old.
this is probably the last big money opportunity for him. So it would make a lot of sense for him to probably go to whoever the highest bidder is.
Take advantage of it. Yep.
It'd be interesting to see who that is. Because there's big talk about maybe Toronto.
I'll tell you what, I would love it if the Lightning would go out and grab him. Oh my gosh, man.
I mean you saw it. He is the perfect
And
is what you need.
On your third line, he would slot in perfectly on the third line because the Lightning's first two lines are pretty well set. Boom, third line, he's doing his thing. Problem is, it's third line for like $8 million, which is like doesn't really work. But
it becomes worth it in April.
Yes, it does. Hopefully,
that's the idea anyway.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Bennett? He's doing all this talk. He's gonna stay.
I honestly believe his
the hype?
Wolf of Wall Street impersonation he did at the Panthers party. I'm not fucking leaving.
Did you ever watch that movie? Did you guys watch that movie?
I think I've seen like parts of it. I've never watched.
I watched the whole thing. Good lord. Like based on a real story, I don't know how that guy's not dead.
Yeah.
No idea.
I know of the story of the fella, and yeah, it's
just drugs.
It's a hell of a story.
Alcohol and
so much
STDs. Like, how are you still walking?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not Sam Bennett. But listen, he is not leaving. All right.
I don't know.
So you think he's gonna stay?
The way the parties have been going down in Florida this past week, who knows?
You never know.
I think he's gonna stay there. Yeah.
Right close to Miami.
I think he likes it there.
Yeah, I think everybody likes it there. Everybody that's been playing for the last few years.
Hard to dislike it winning 2 in a row.
Yeah. The difference. So this is kind of interesting because they're sort of in the same situation as the 2022 Lightning were. You know, you've had this great run, but now you got people are coming up. They need deals, and then in the Lightning, for the Lightning, it was obviously Palat. That was their big guy, and that was the thing. They couldn't hold on to him, and he signed like a $6 million deal, just because because the cap never went up. They probably could have kept him if the cap had gone up a little bit, but that was the situation that they were put into. So he had to walk. And then for the Panthers, it's Bennett and Ekblad. So it's like, ooh, what are we gonna see here?
I don't know.
And I feel like the Panthers, right? I mean, remember last year how big of a piece Montour was on their blue line, and then he just walked, and I was like, dang, that's a big loss. No, they repeat it again. They just have to,
because they
just
got. It turns out when Seth Jones isn't on Chicago, he's a bit better. Which makes can't
sense.
really blame him for that.
But like, I guess the way I think, like, Bennett is just, when you look at how he plays in the playoffs, right, and what he can get. Let's be real, what he can get away with in the playoffs, right? Like, you're gonna take that, and then you're just gonna get another warm body at the trade deadline on defense and just make it work because they prove that they can do. That's what I think.
Yeah. It's the Panthers are the perfect encapsulation of they're a team that figured out, oh, the NHL's not gonna give like the physical like dirtiness. The NHL wants this. They actively referee their games so that this happens specifically in the playoffs. So they were like one of the best teams that just be like, all right, well, we're just gonna do that then. And
Yeah.
like, as much as I dislike it, I'm like, I mean, yeah, they did kind of just sort of go along with what the NHL is saying you should do.
It's annoying. That's annoying.
Yeah.
But hey, whatever. That's how it is. That's how it is. It's gonna keep being like that, and more teams are gonna kind of adopt that way of playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. That is what you'll see. You're gonna, it's gonna be a repeat of like everybody, like when Vancouver got beat by the Bruins in 2011. Like they spent like 5 years trying to become the 2011 Bruins.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of situations like that we'll get in the next couple of years, but yeah,
it'll probably start this summer with someone paying $10+ million a year to Sam Bennett.
The Leafs spending like 10 mil on Sam Bennett and 8 mil on Marchand.
There it is. You get rid of
mathematically cannot possibly work, but
no.
No.
Yeah. And we'll get into it a little bit later, but the UFA class isn't huge this year. Not super exciting. But there's a couple big hitters in there. And we'll get to those in a little bit. I wonder, what did you guys think about the Oilers in the Cup final? If you were able to take in any games, I myself, I'll be honest, the Lightning got knocked, and I was like, I don't care anymore. I stopped watching for like 3 weeks, and then the Cup final started, and I was like, you know what, I gotta watch some of this. And then I watched, and the hockey was actually pretty good. So I watched maybe 3 or 4 games in the final series, but nothing else.
I didn't watch any final. I was in the sort of same boat with once the Habs got knocked. I paid a little attention in the second round. The conference finals, I could not have given 2 shits about.
Conference finals kind of sucked.
Yeah,
they kind of sucked.
And then I did see parts of a few of the games while I was just out with friends and stuff, and because I also canceled Hulu Live after the Habs got bounced because that shit's expensive.
All right.
That shit's expensive.
It is.
But I think the game I caught the most of was the 3-0 comeback that Edmonton had and then won in overtime.
That was game 4. I believe
they went up 4-3, then Florida tied it, and then Edmonton overtime. And I think it was 4, because it tied up the series.
Mm-hmm.
And that game ruled. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
But in terms of the Oilers and all of it, they just weren't as deep. Like that was my be all end all I saw, because I was like, they were in it. Like they had the series 2-2 at one point, and then they just didn't have the guys. Like you see Florida rolling, like Florida's third line like feasted the entire playoffs. Because they're stupid what they had. Well, that was the Marchand, Lundell, what's his face, right?
Luciarinen.
Something.
I was gonna say, was Luciarinen on that? Yeah. Couldn't remember if he was a D-man or not.
It's one of those things, and especially Edmonton losing Hyman before they even go into that series.
They missed Hyman.
They just didn't have the guys. And also, I don't. Stan Bowman probably shouldn't have a job after this summer if he doesn't get a fucking goalie. Like, what?
Dude.
How, like, that problem has been staring them in the fucking face for like 4 years.
What a shit show, dude.
I'm just. Are you gonna do anything about it ever once?
No, it's just gonna keep using the same. Just gotta run it back.
That's right. Keep throwing Stu Skinner in between the pipes. You got it this time, dude.
And then like Calvin Pickard, you see his record, it was great, but then you look at his stats and then you look at him like in the net, and I'm like, that man does not look comfortable on any of these saves he's made. Like, yes, it's kind of functioning a little bit for now, but like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Anyway, Eric.
When we used to talk about Mike Smith and how he was like, we asked ourselves, could Mike Smith give the Oilers the cup? And now we're on to, could Stuart Skinner lead the Oilers to? What are we doing? That's not
in fairness, the combined tandem of Pickard and Skinner have gotten them very close twice.
Yeah, dude, dang. But like, But both times it's not. It feels like it's not because of the goaltending. It's like in spite of the goaltending.
So Mike, you said something earlier, right? The Panthers have one chance and they bury it. Do you know who that reminds me of? Honestly, the Tampa Bay Lightning, because Vasilevsky would stand on his head and make the most ridiculous save. They'd go down the ice and they'd score. And I just want to say, I think Florida gives up way more chances than those Tampa teams did. Those Tampa teams were real deep. They're really good. But same premise, right? You have a goalie that you can lean on. And right when Brad Marchand is windmilling past your defense, right? A big save could change the momentum. They never got that.
Yeah.
In the if there's a breakaway and it goes in and all that stuff, all right, whatever, right? In the playoffs, expectations are different. If you're a goalie, you got to be able to make a big save.
Yeah, because that is the other part of that Marchand windmill goal is like the move was sick, but then the shot wasn't.
Like you could block that.
Yeah. Like the shot was not it was a pretty like gentle looking backhand. Like
Yeah,
those can be stopped.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
Oh yeah.
If I'm Edmonton too with the goalies, look at what the Capitals did picking up Logan Thompson, and they have a tandem of Charlie Lindgren and Logan Thompson.
and they're paying which admittedly they're not paying a lot for Skinner Pickard either, but the problem is they're not good.
Exactly. And like same thing with even the Maple Leafs, right? Stolars and Woll. That's a great tandem.
Yeah,
like
very good.
Yeah. Their team Swayman Allmark set the standard, right? And like
they're the best that we've seen.
If you're a GM, you can at least figure out a tandem. Like we're not asking you to get the next Vasilevsky or Bobrovsky or like just figure out a tandem. Get someone who's like a consistent,
like if you can bring in a 1A or somebody that can act as a 1A to Skinner's 1B, that might be something. You could maybe do something, but like try something.
Yeah, the biggest thing is like we saw last season, and it was basically the same thing. And then we come in, and it's like, run it back, baby.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? You couldn't get one other different option?
Like we just saw Toronto. Like we just talked about it. We saw Toronto sign Stolars for like I think he's getting paid like $1.5 million right now or something.
I don't even think it's that much.
It's not expensive.
Nick,
like,
I have a question for you, Nick. How much of the Sens did you watch in the playoffs?
I watched most of it.
Dude, yeah. Even though he didn't have like the most consistent games, how much of a difference maker that was having a goalie like Allmark when they won some games, right?
It makes you feel a little bit more reassured.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, Allmark's never historically been great in the postseason, but he has a little bit better of a reputation than Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's only had.
Oh, so go ahead, Mike. Sorry, I didn't.
He's only had 2 years, 3 with this last one in the playoffs.
Yeah, because he was on Buffalo forever, so he didn't get much chance.
No, he did not.
Also, Anthony Stolar is a little more expensive than I thought he was. 2.5 mil a year, but that still, like, you saw what he was like this year. He was fantastic. Sign Anthony Stolar for 2.5 mil, you're immediately in a better spot if you're Edmonton. Like, but I mean, he has to want to go there, and like, there's all those considerations too. I don't know what his, but the point is, there was plenty of options last summer, and there was plenty of reason to look at the playoff run and season they had and be like, should maybe get some help here, but no.
There was a lot.
It's the reverse. It's the reverse of Bergevin with Price all of the Habs years, where they're like, well, we got Price, so that's fine. We don't need that much goal scoring. It's the reverse. It's like, well, we got McDavid and Draisaitl. We can just like.
There was a lot of bad going on last season because remember they lost out on those 2 young guys to offer sheets.
Holloway and
they both were great for St. Louis from what I remember this year. Didn't one of them? I don't remember which one, but I know one of them had a particularly strong breakout year.
Holloway had like a good
65.
Yeah, there you go. 65 points, dude.
Yeah.
And how much was this deal? It was like $2 million. Like, come on, man. Or it was like $2 or $3 million. I can't remember exactly, but it's like, but instead, no, we'll take Jeffy Skinner. We'll take him.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I know he got sat for like half the playoffs, but when he was in the final, he actually looked like he was at least like creating some havoc on the forecheck and getting some chances. I know at that point it really didn't matter, but
Jeff Skinner's first playoff appearance.
Yeah. Because he
Uh,
also was on Buffalo for a very long time. And he was on the bad Hurricanes before that.
Yep.
So it was before the Hurricanes sold to Tom Dundon.
Jeff
So
Skinner.
yeah,
knows
he never had a chance.
Jeff Skinner knows what every hockey low feels like. He's experienced
Yeah.
playing the worst teams, and they're like, "Guess what? We're gonna one up you." What does losing the Cup final feel like?
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Corey Perry
that's tough.
has that.
Yeah, he's got that to an insane
Oh my
degree.
God, Corey
Like-
Perry, dude.
Like
Corey
that
Perry
doesn't feel like it should mathematically be possible.
Yeah.
Like that
That's
shouldn't.
6 of 7, is that what it was?
it's
Or-
5 of the last 6 years he has lost in the Cup final.
Yeah,
And didn't he win
So-
in one of them?
No,
that was in 07.
he
won
won
way
in
back in
2007. Yeah, nearly 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
I thought for some reason he
So-
won with Tampa.
No.
Fuck no.
No,
I wish.
he came on to Tampa right after they did all of it because
Yeah.
he lost to Tampa on Montreal and then turned coats.
He also
Went
lost to them on
Went to
Dallas.
Tampa and lost. That's right. Yeah.
He did also lose to them on Dallas. I forgot about that.
Fucking guy just lost. Oh my gosh, man, this poor guy.
I mean, I think he's doing all right. He's got a Hart Trophy. He's got a cup. He's got
Hart Trophy,
some,
Cup, millions of dollars.
Olympic golds. But
hurts, man.
damn, that's gotta to go through. That's nuts.
And he's good
It's
too.
just-
Like he plays
He
well
was
in the
ripping.
playoffs.
Yeah, like, he was having a great run this year. It's just man is fucking cursed because
Yeah.
like damn.
Hey,
Also,
listen,
that Dylan Holloway contract, $2.2 million.
there it is. There it is. 2.2 million Oilers. Could have had 65-point Dylan Holloway
Coulda
on the
had
third
some
line or whatever.
real cheap offensive depth if you had just matched the
Maybe
offer
second
sheet.
line with Hyman out.
Yeah.
Maybe first line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of bad for the Oilers last offseason. Unfortunately, cost them in the Cup final. But hey, they still made it to the Cup final. Still pretty
Yeah.
good. And
So
that's the
before
thing
we-
that's
oh, sorry.
kind of wild. And we'll take a little break after this. But both of the Cup final teams, other than the second round for the Panthers, kind of just strolled through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like they didn't.
Yeah.
Neither team had that hard of a time. It was looking scary
Yeah.
for the Oilers at the beginning, but yeah, both teams kind of strolled to the
Mhm.
end, and the Panthers just take it. But yeah, you want
Yeah.
to take a little break?
Before that, the last Oilers thing I wanted to hit was what are we thinking about McDavid's reactions and his or do we want to leave that for after the break? 'Cause we're
No,
gonna be talking about some
that was
free
good.
agency
That
stuff.
was a good catch. I actually
Okay.
wanted to talk
Because-
about that. Yeah.
I mean, if you have quotes around, I don't know if I do, but the general vibe was he gets asked of, well, July 1st, that's when you are now eligible to be able to sign an extension. And like the first question he had about that was much more like general and like, okay, whatever. He was just, well, shit just happened. I got to get with my agent. We got to talk. Got to figure things out. And then somebody else asked about it again and was like, what do you need to see here to make it be a place you want to stay? And he's like, I need to see that there's an actual opportunity to win over and over again, and said some very non-committal things about sticking at Edmonton, which could mean nothing. It could just be negotiating, or he could be waiting to see what they do in terms of maybe bringing in a goalie this summer. But what do we all think about the potential of Connor McDavid leaving Edmonton?
Well, Edmonton's dumb to or take any risk around having him go through the season without a contract extension
Sure.
and waiting it out, kind of like the Islanders did with T-Var, right? And you can't lose him for nothing. You cannot lose him for nothing. So, to your
Yeah, that would
point, right? Like, I can see why he's going to wait until moves are made who proved to him that the team is going to look better, right? Like Ben just said. But there's also a period of time where it's like, okay, there's going to have to, if like they start the season off and they get a goalie and then they look like shit, like, what are you going to do? Because as a team, you're probably like, okay, well, if we lose again, or if we miss the playoffs, this guy's gone.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because they've been to the cup final 2 years in a row, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't feel like they're that close. Like, they've been as close as you can be, but they just don't feel like they're that close. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's you make it to one fewer game against the same team again. It's like it's great. You make it there, then you're just not enough. So I guess you have to wait and see if he thinks whatever additions they make this summer are
Yeah.
enough to put them, because you have to think they're viewing it as, well, if we're gonna do this again, there's a damn good chance that's the same fucking matchup in the cup final next spring. Like,
Yeah.
like you were saying, in terms of how easily they got through the playoffs, who's coming up to fuck that up? Like, who next year
Right.
is like
Toronto's going to blow it up, so it's not like they're going to be coming back with
Toronto will be a little
vengeance, right?
different. You never know.
who knows?
Top
No,
teams.
it would be the most
yeah.
hockey thing in the world for Toronto to like lose Marner, make a lot of big roster changes, make it into the playoffs in like 8th place, and then that be the year they go on a run. That would be the most hockey thing in in the world. But I don't know. I just think there's just as good a chance that this is going to be the finals matchup next year, and that's McDavid's mindset is like, either if they make it to the finals again, they're either going to be playing Florida or somebody who beats Florida.
Pretty much.
Like, I guess that's probably what's going to be on his mind, but who knows? Any other thoughts on McDavid?
I agree, Nick. I agree with you exactly, right? It's like, this is the one player you cannot lose him for nothing. Like, you just cannot. And because of that, the way McDavid was wording some stuff, it kind of is in the organization's hands at this point, right? Like, if McDavid isn't in Edmonton anymore, somebody fucked up, and it wasn't McDavid.
Yeah.
He was so clear that all he wants to win is a Stanley Cup. Like that. Like, you can't be, as a fan, you can't be mad at him for that. Like, it's like, yeah, that's what.
Because he doesn't have anything else left. Like, individual honors probably mean very. I mean, I'm sure it's nice, but like, he's got like 4 hearts, like so many art rod. Like, he's like, yeah, no, I'm good. I kind of just want to do the thing.
Yeah, so like so my eyes are on Stan Bowman. That's all I have to say about David stuff. It's up to him at this point. Like, do something, man. do something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all going to be that, and that's, that raises an interesting, situation, cuz how exciting could that be if the Oilers don't figure it out this offseason and you go into like February and they're outside. They're outside looking in.
You get
Do we see that
that
could be the first time?
What does the trade deadline of the century look like with a mid-season Connor McDavid
What's
trade?
that return? What's that return like, though?
Ooh. Oh my god. That is the thing. You could get a hell of a fucking return back for.
Yeah, you could.
But you don't want to trade Connor McDavid, though. You're always going to be making a mistake by trading Connor McDavid.
Yes.
But I heard something from Spit and Chicklets. I think it was Keith Yandel.
Yeah, I saw this.
Something about him going to Tampa.
It's bullshit, dude. I'm sorry, whoever said. I think it wasn't Keith Yandel. It was the other fucking guy they have on there.
Merles.
Yes, it was that guy. He was like, it starts with a T, and it isn't Toronto. And it's like, he's not going to Tampa, guys. Like, they don't have the space. They don't. That's not a thing. They'd have to ship out half the. They'd have to ship out half the team.
Half the roster.
Yeah, and then it's just McDavid and a shell of the former Lightning. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, McDavid's a great player. I don't want that. If you can get him for less than your entire core, sure, but that's not how it would work. So.
You trade the farm system away for him.
They don't have a
Plus,
fucking farm system
guys.
left, dude. And their Hobie
Say
Baker,
it's pretty much gone.
the Hobie Baker winner doesn't even want to sign there. Don't know why. Nobody does. Doesn't make any sense, fucking guy. Whatever.
Damn. Is it already being viewed as they're on the way down?
Apparently.
But even
They're-
then, it's
they're
still
the
a kick-ass
inferior
team.
sport.
Like, that doesn't...
Dude, they were second in the Atlantic, like
Yeah,
third in
like-
the East. They got their ass kicked by the Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, sorry,
Everybody wants
we can't listen. We can't be the best team every single year.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I'll be interested to see
I'm
if
so
anything ever comes out
confused.
about that.
Yeah,
'cause
I'm so confused why that guy. He's like, no, I don't want to play for you. Send
Who
me
is
somewhere
this?
else.
Isaac Howard?
It's Isaac Howard. He won the Hobie Baker, and he's like, he's made it clear he's not gonna sign with Tampa. He's not gonna sign.
Dude,
with them.
I specifically remember how excited you were about him because wasn't he on draft day wearing like a ridiculous
Dude, he had
suit or-
a white suit with like an American flag belt buckle. It was so sick.
Oh, I do remember that.
And now
I
he's
remember that.
he's being a little baby.
day
No,
fit.
I don't want to play in Tampa. Whatever. Fuck off then.
Oh man, that's crazy! Wow, that came.
I hope he turns into nothing.
Jesus.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't really care.
I
I don't really care, but I think
No,
that's
what
a
if
foolish
he
thought.
does wait out? Because I know that I don't remember the exact rules, but I know there's like a period of time if you wait long enough, the rights just expire. I think you would have to wait
Oh,
for
yeah.
a good long while. But what if he does that and then signs with the Panthers?
Oh, that would be so upsetting. Like, what do you mean? Why? Well, actually, that I would actually understand because the Panthers are the best team right now, so that I actually understand.
They did just win back-to-back cups.
I
Yeah,
would,
that-
you know what? I would understand that. I would understand that, but it would bum me out.
Yeah.
All right, you guys got to take a break, or you want to keep on trucking?
If we could take a break.
You got to squeeze
Just
the
a
lemon,
quick,
do you?
Just a quick little one, yes.
Little lemon squeeze. All right, we'll be back in just a second. All right, and welcome back. Sorry for that slight extended break, but listen, we've returned. Sorry, just pausing the music. So yeah, now that we're back, next item on the docket here, really the only item, is the off season.
Sorry.
The off season's coming up here.
It is.
July 1st is what's it, 9 days away? A little bit less than a little bit over 2 weeks, or a little bit over a week.
Isn't
Excuse me.
When's the draft? Isn't draft first?
Yeah, honestly, as a Tampa Bay Lightning fan, I don't really pay attention to the draft anymore.
You haven't thought about the draft in a while.
They never have anybody in there, so I don't care.
Yeah. The draft is this Friday, coming Friday and Saturday.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
As a New York Islanders fan, I should pay attention to it because we have the first overall pick, and that's kind of cool. But also as a New York Islanders fan, do I have faith in my organization to do anything with the draft? Not really.
Hey, Lou's gone.
Lou is gone.
Maybe.
That's true. Actually,
Sort
yeah,
of. I keep hearing things where he like might be in a upper like advisor role.
Oh God, he
that-
failed upwards.
I that also might be bullshit, Eric, and that's me remembering a thing I heard like 3 years ago. So let me know if you know
I
more
thought
about that than me.
I have not heard anything else about that, but that's interesting because that sounds like it's interesting because it sounds like the most Lou Lamoriello thing possible. Like somehow that could be true,
Yeah.
but I
But
about it being true. No,
the thing
yeah,
I do know
so-
is he did re-sign, wasn't it 2 AGMs like on his last day or something? He like
Something.
re-signed 2
Yeah.
AGMs he had like relationships with, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys a job.
Yeah.
3 more years on my way out."
I do want, you know what, actually, and I guess we're talking about off-season stuff. I'm just gonna start here with the Islanders, because there's some interesting stuff happening.
Hell yeah.
So you guys saw that Palmieri was re-signed,
Yes.
and somebody else was re-signed. Jeez, man, I can't even keep it. I'm like so playoff hockey focused, and I forgot who else the Islanders re-signed.
I'm gonna guess.
I forget.
Okay, I don't have a guess. I don't even know who's on that team. Wallstrom, Oliver Wallstrom.
No, he's on the Bruins.
Boquist.
Oh. Thank you, Adam Boquist. So anyway, those moves. So Lou Lamoriello gets fired, right, and then Matthew Darsh comes in. Darsh.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
So
they yoinked one of your boys, Mike.
you know him because
Damn
he is
it.
a Cup champion with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's kind of cool. But those signings, people were like, "Yo, we have a new GM, and he's already making like these Lou Lamoriello ass signings." It's because Lou did those before he left, and then they were announced after.
Mm-hmm.
The new GM didn't have anything to do with that. So just to be clear
Damn.
on,
That's a hell of a job situation to come into.
I
You-
know.
like
It's like the
Yeah.
Rich
old
signs
guy.
comes in and
Yeah.
he's like, "Here's these two AGMs that you're going to be working 3
Yeah.
years because last guy, and we don't want to pay the contract out. Also, here's these two guys that you may have wanted to keep, but Kyle Palmieri is kind of old.
Yeah, he is. Good
the
lord.
only situation worse than that to walk into was Kyle Dubas walking into whatever the fuck Ron Hextall
Oh,
did
God.
with the Penguins. So I don't even want to get into that. But
There
that was
is that. You're not
terrible.
wrong there. That
But
combined with them being like, and also turn this team into a contender for Crosby's last few years.
it's like,
Like,
all right,
guys, I don't think that's possible. Although
no.
he didn't need to do Carlson. He didn't need to do that.
That was an unnecessary move, yeah.
Yeah. But
So
anyhow, the Islanders.
the most interesting thing about the Islanders going into the draft is there's a kid, and I paid attention to him at World Juniors, James Hagens, and he's from Long Island, grew up an Islanders fan,
Mm-hmm.
rose up on the prospect pool, right? And he's not going to be a number 1 overall pick. I believe it's Matthew Schaefer and Michael Misa are the two players that are
Isn't he
like,
projected to be like 7th or 8th ish?
yeah. And he has publicly been saying for the past few weeks, I would be so happy if the Islanders drafted me. Like he grew up, guys. See, this for Long Islanders, right? He grew up like his dad is like a blue collar Islanders fan. Like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
cool, right? Like that. That is the Islander, right? So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if the Islanders really want to blow it up. There's rumors that they might trade for a pick, and they might trade for like, I don't know, a 7th. I think Chicago. Someone has the 7th overall pick. I think.
Okay.
I'd have to verify that, but whatever the team is, right? The Islanders might want to trade for a pick so they can select one of Matthew Schaefer or Michael Misa first overall, and then right after that select James Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
They,
Ah.
however, the
That
gap.
would be fully pivoting to rebuild because, like,
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
have those two great players from this one year, but that would be like for
So
2 or 3 years down the line kind of
and
situation.
and you have those two players plus Cal Ritchie from Colorado and the Brock Nelson deal, and Cole Iserman, who's a goal scorer,
Mm-hmm.
and who could be an NHL goal scorer, right? Has shown flashes of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we're trying to build something here. The gamble there is if they trade up, right, for a pick, another team can take Hagens, right, before that
Right.
7th. So it is interesting. It is interesting. Maybe they'll go for it. Maybe they won't. I don't know what they're gonna do. I personally think it would be cool if they just kind of did that, because I feel like as an Islanders fan, if I'm sitting down with two people and one person is going to tell me how the Islanders are going to make the playoffs with their current roster, and the other person is telling me, listen, put up with a rebuild for a little bit, but look at these bright spots we have. I think I'd probably be more interested in talking to the person who's telling me how good a rebuild could be and doing the right things and getting out of the Lou Lamoriello era of hockey. Because I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how the Islanders get a first overall pick. Okay, throw that guy into the lineup. Do they make the playoffs next year?
Wait, are you telling me you don't
I,
want to make it in as wild card 2 to lose to Carolina?
for the
Are you telling me you don't want that, Eric?
it's
What?
you know what I'm telling you? I can't envision anything differently because I've seen it too many. So
It'll either be a miss or it'll be that. Yeah.
yeah, and whatever it is, right? I mean, my model organization for this, Ben, is the Canadians, right? Like everything that Kent Hughes does, he's like,
I
this
haven't
is
heard
why.
that sentence come out of anybody's mouth for a very long
Yeah,
time.
yeah. But like, you know what I'm saying? He explains this is
Yes.
why we're doing this, right? This
Yeah.
is why the purpose of this. Where Lou Lamoriello is like, you don't know where I am. You don't know what I'm doing. You'll hear about it sometimes. And then
I am whisper on the
also,
wind. You'll
also,
only know once it's all already done.
Also, I see a hair on your face. You better fucking shave that shit right now. You better shave it right now. That's Lou
Yeah.
Lamoriello. So,
Oh
so
yeah, will
I,
Islanders be able to have beards again?
they will.
Yeah.
Kyle Palmieri isn't. That's why. That's probably why he agreed to be re-signed too. He knew Lou was leaving. Fuck yeah, I can grow this beard out.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
yeah.
Yankees,
All I have on
the Yankees
It's in.
just did that too. The Yankees
They
just
did.
Yeah.
stopped their whole
Yeah.
thing. That was, I mean, shit. That's like a century? When did the Yankees
That
come with
Something like
always annoyed me.
no
Like,
beards?
what do you
It just
just the fact that you're just like, yeah, no, we're different. We're
yeah, it's just
we're the
it's
Yankees, so you
it's
gotta
yeah,
you gotta be proper and you gotta look like it. I'm just
it's
like, God,
a tradition
okay,
thing. It's a
okay,
tradition thing. But hey,
yeah,
they're getting rid of it now, so you can have some
yeah.
light sculpted facial hair.
I wonder.
Nobody's
So,
gonna
are they
be
gonna have some? Are they gonna have some like? They're gonna have some like signs in the clubhouse that have like this beard is okay. It's like very trimmed and like,
yes.
and then right next to like a really bushy ass like
right
Brent
next
Burns
to
beard
it
and
is
be
Brent
like,
is a photo of Brent Burns. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
not okay.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
that's interesting.
Yeah.
to
So I
circle
don't
back
know. Yeah.
around to that potential trade to do the Michael Misa and Hagen 1-2. The 7th overall pick is the Boston Bruins. The
Bruins.
eighth overall pick is Seattle Kraken. So I wonder if it's one of those situations where they take their first pick. Well, I guess they got to kind of decide on their first pick. I think you, even with that as good of a story as that is, I don't think you make that much of a reach. I think you go for one of the consensus top two, and then as the draft picks play out after that, you maybe have some deals on the back burner with a couple GMs around that range where you think you might go like, all right, if he's still there, we could give you this and this for yours. Yeah. And then obviously if he comes off the board, then the trade doesn't happen. But that would be that would be some fireworks to get things started. That'd be fun.
That would
Yeah,
be
and
very
that's
fun.
the last thing I'll say about this. Yeah, exactly. That the other Islanders thing that could happen is exactly one of the 1-2 projected overall picks. They ignore that and just draft Hagen's first overall, and then don't trade any picks. I don't think that happen. I don't think it's gonna happen, to be fair. But that's another thing that could happen. It's probably not going to. If it does,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sad all summer. So, but that's
Yeah.
it. That's the Islanders. I know they have a good shot to like actually make some big changes, like things that they can actually plant some seeds right now. That'll like as a fan, hopefully I get to see like the team reap the benefits of in the future. I think that'd be cool.
I'm excited to see. Well, I'm excited for one that Matthew Darsh finally got a job, because he's been like one of the interviews for like so many different teams in the last little while. He was a part of the Habs process, and I mean, I'm happy with Ken Hughes, but like I think he would have also been a good option.
Yeah.
I am interested to see what the direction becomes for the Islanders, because it's been so very locked in to what they were
Yes.
so long. With Lou being there, like there wasn't really a whole lot of mystery. He was going for it, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
But
And it's
he was going for it, and now I want to see Darsh's sort of plan going forward is.
and it's not too locked in here. Like it's like we got another year of Anders Lee, 7 million, another year of
Yeah.
JG Peugeot, 5 million. A whole lot of Barzell and Horvat. So you're locked into those two guys.
Yes.
And of course, don't let me forget Pierre Engvall. You're also locked into that
Yeah.
guy.
Jesus Christ, that Lou
Um,
Lamoriello, man.
but everybody else,
Well-
it's pretty low amount of years. Like he'll be able to shape this bad boy if he wants to.
So Mike, this ties everything together. So the Bruins are that 7th overall pick. They've shown interest. There are rumors in Pajot as a depth player who can win them faceoffs, like a 3rd line, 4th line guy. So if you could do Pajot and throw some other stuff in there, right? Maybe
I'm gonna say
7th.
there's gonna be some other stuff in there, because
Yeah, of
Pajot
course.
doesn't get you.
Yeah.
No. But
Definitely.
what I'm saying exactly. But what I'm saying is the Bruins, at least, right? It's like, okay, yep, that's
Yeah.
the we're going for, and at least they already have interest in one of our players, right? We might be able to.
You've got
But-
one pick every single round this year. You have 2 2026 firsts.
Yes.
So do you spend one of those along with, like a 4th, 5th,
Yeah,
and
and
then
Pajot.
JG Pajot, and be like, just give it to us.
Yeah.
Give it to us
Yeah.
now. And then what if the Bruins come back with, what about both of those first rounders?
Yeah.
I'd say we already gave you Alstrom, and he's gonna be the next John Tavares. So shut up.
We'll throw in a Pierre Engvall.
I mean,
for
Jesus.
$3 million until 2029. Oh my
he'd be
god!
He'd be the perfect Bruin if he actually hit. If he actually just threw his body into people, he'd be an incredible.
He's big, yeah. Isn't he big?
My favorite recent quote from the SDP was Steve Dangle saying, "If you yanked Pierre Engvall's gloves off of him, skin would come off the bone because the man does not get physical. He never, that's never gonna be a part of his game." But yeah.
This guy. Can I also just throw this out there? And I have my own reasons for hating it. These fucking no trade clauses are pissing me off. He has a 16-team no trade clause.
Pierre Engvall does?
He has a 16-team no trade list.
Yep.
For and it's the entire deal. It goes all the way to the entire deal.
NHL agents are either really good or NHL GMs are really bad. Like,
and you know who else has one? Fucking so Connor Sheary. Why does Connor Sheary have a no trade clause?
The wildest thing is giving Pierre Engvall 8 years and a no trade clause. If you're Pierre Engvall, you're not getting no fucking this is already insane.
In the entire 8 years too. Like, I could understand maybe a couple of those. The entire 8 years?
No. Hold on. Here's the thing. Here's what you don't understand though.
What?
When Pierre came in before that signing, he went onto the ice by himself and dangled through all these training props, and he was big and he was fast and he was strong, and Lou was like, dude, imagine when he gets into the NHL how good he'll be. And then that never happened. So, but let's just give Lou a second here, right? Let's consider seeing this incredible physical specimen and being like, dude, 16 teams, you don't have to go there.
One for every rib you can see.
Speaking of contracts, though, how are we feeling, Eric, about Noah? Was it Noah Dobson? I believe is rumored to be asking for $11 million a year.
Oh God!
Talk about. Jeez, I feel like I've been filling up this segment a lot with Islander stuff, but there's actually a lot to talk about. Noah Dobson is looking for a $11-ish million contract is what the rumor is. And the Islanders are they're not actively shopping him, but they're seeing what other teams might give up for a player like that, right? And I think that is normal because it's like, if whatever your direction is for the team going forward, right? Like if another team is giving up something that fits that, maybe that'll be the move, right?
Dude, there's your other first rounder.
Well, yeah. I would like to keep Noah Dobson. Because again, offensively, I think the Islanders, I don't know, especially going forward, if they're gonna create like a really good power play, this is like future Islanders that I envision. I would love to see like Dobson quarterbacking a power play with Cole Eiserman on it, taking some 1-Ts, Barzal and Horvat, right, moving the puck really well down low. But I'm also not Matthew Darsh, so maybe he has another vision. But we'll see about that. I'd love for Dobson to stay. I haven't heard any other rumblings other than that's kind of what he's asking for.
Yeah.
Maybe
it was
maybe during the
Frank
draft.
Saravalli reported that.
Yeah. Maybe the draft something crazy will happen. But until then, nothing to really report there.
11 million would make him the highest paid defenseman.
Yeah.
Correct? Apart from Carlson's deal.
Carlson makes 11. I think Drew Doughty also makes 11. But it's like one of those things where I'm like, I don't know how you can justify, he's asking to be paid like Cale Makar.
Cale Makar,
he's a good defenseman.
Isn't even making that right now.
Yeah.
isn't it one of those things, though, right? The cap's about to go up, so the goal is, right, let's pay him 11
Yeah,
million per term now, and then,
That's
like,
what
it
it is,
works
yeah.
out. Yeah, because right, Cale Makar's next contract, all those well, Quinn Hughes just signed, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Did he just no, Quinn Hughes when does Quinn Hughes become
That's a good question. I'm actually not
those
sure.
contracts will be like, if Draisaitl is making 14 mil, it's probably gonna be around there, you know?
I oh, yeah. Cale Makar?
For
Oh my
for
gosh, dude.
for Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, like, those are, like, game
Yeah.
breaking.
Quinny
Quinn
Hughes
Hughes
has
is
2 more
making
years.
7.8 left. Yeah.
How many more years does he have?
7.8 mil a year for he's
Yeah.
going into the second to last year. Yeah.
2 more
So this is
seasons.
like, right, Dobson and Bouchard are gonna be the 2 defensemen that are like, it's like, okay, this is gonna kinda set the standard, like, what kinda money are we paying defensemen like that,
The new
right?
standard, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Dobson is a right-hand shot defenseman too, which is, like, more valuable in the NHL for whatever I say for whatever reason, I guess, like, it makes sense.
There's just less of them.
But yeah, so,
Yeah.
like, that also does matter, I guess, so.
Supply and demand, baby. Basic
Yeah,
economics.
is Bouchard also a right-handed defenseman?
I believe he is.
So there we go,
Yes, I'm pretty
no
sure.
right-handed defenseman, so, yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything for the Lightning. They'll do whatever they're gonna do. I was gonna mostly talk about the couple of UFAs we got going on, but if anybody has anything team specific that they want to talk about, I'm sure Benny. I'm sure you got something with the Canadians. I'm sure they got something going on.
Been there hasn't been a ton of news other than randomly it got mentioned by Pierre LeBrun a while back that they are apparently are really interested in Nicholas Hague from Vegas, which makes sense to a degree because I mean, the whole team is largely babies and they have a lot of very young defensemen. We just lost David Savard, who had been a big, like, older presence on that blue line. So it makes sense in a degree of it seems like they're just trying to bring in another older, just sort of steady defenseman guy to sort of fill out
Nikki
um the
Hague.
decor a little bit. But that just randomly dropped one day. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Um, but the other one that was interesting was I saw it reported by a good few people that the Habs were maybe interested in trading up to get Utah's 4th overall pick. Because they've been in talks with apparently they met with at the draft combine a prospect named Caleb Desnoyers.
French Canadian, baby.
Yeah, and
Get him in there.
there's talk they might be maybe trading up for something along those lines. There's still always the obvious talk of they're probably going to look for center help this summer. Because neither of Alex Newhook or Kirby Doc have really panned out as much as they hope to. I mean, they panned out. They're good players and can be useful. They'll probably be useful on the wing. They need center help. So that'll probably be the focus this summer. But there's not really been a whole lot solid. It's been pretty quiet. So I'm interested to see because Kent Hughes has been known to make some splashes on draft day with some trades. So we'll see if next Friday, Saturday, we're looking at a big addition to the Habs.
All right.
The only big news that I saw coming out of Ottawa was that they're looking at there was a potential of something going on with Dallas trading Batherson for Robertson plus some. I was like,
Oh,
that would be interesting because I mean Dallas is in a cap crunch apparently. As you guys saw, they just got rid of Marchment, which was surprising.
oh, dude! As soon as I saw him go, I was like, "There's another one that would have been great on the Lightning."
Yeah. So I was like, I would be okay with that. I know Robertson's kind of like quiet in the playoffs the last couple times they've gotten there, but he doesn't. Going to Ottawa doesn't mean he has to be he's not the number one guy there, you know.
No, yeah.
Where in Dallas he kind of is.
The only thing with that is, you would get him, and then it would be, I think it's 1 more year. and then you've got to figure out how to pay him because that's why they're trying to, I think,
Yeah.
ship him out right now. Is that they're looking ahead and they're being like, we aren't going to be able to pay this guy whatever he's going to want.
Mhm.
So that's the only situation. Because I think he's making like 7 something right now. So he's likely going to want. Man, is he gonna
10
want? Is he gonna want 10?
plus.
Yeah, he's gonna probably want at that point with what the cap's gonna be. He's probably gonna be wanting 10 plus. So it's like, are you gonna be able to fit that in, and is it gonna be worth it? Who knows?
Mm.
I'd be excited to see that team with a full year of Mr. Dylan Cousins.
Yeah, that will
Ooh.
be interesting to see because he did seem to fit in quite well. Although we'll see how much of that was just sheer elation at being moved off of the Buffalo Sabres roster. We'll
yeah.
see.
Yep.
Although with the way it's been going for Florida, that might be the play. Just get all of Buffalo's
Load up.
best players.
Load
Just
up
get
on
out
the
of
Sabres
Buffalo.
players. Somebody grab
Yeah.
Thompson, bring him in. Alex Tuck, come on down.
You just got to make
Welcome.
sure to get them out of Buffalo early enough in their development process
Yep.
that they'll still be fine.
Dude, welcome to Ottawa, Rasmus Dahlin. Come on, make it happen.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Darlene, man. I got it.
Make it happen.
That guy's making so much money.
You put Darlene and Sanderson on your number 1
Yep.
pair. Oof.
Yep. Shabbat's on your second pair.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Rasmus Dahlin's making like 10 mil a year. Dobson should get 10 mil. That's fine.
I'm pretty sure Darlene, let me look it up. I'm pretty sure it's like 12.5, dude.
Is it really? There's
Well,
no
they
way.
need to
Oh
keep
no,
their
it's
best
11.
player
No,
there.
it's 11. It's 11.
Oh, well, there we go. They're fine then.
I mean,
Oh, ew, dude. I mean, listen, he's a great defenseman, but
I mean,
God,
that contract is going to look tough on any team that's doing as poorly as they
that's
are.
true.
Like,
That's very
it's-
true.
There's
That's very
no
true.
way, because I think there's just a good chance he could go somewhere else and easily be an $11 million defenseman.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
just that I don't know. I don't know, man. That team, I think they might need new owners. But
I agree. Well, hey, let me look at Tampa's cap as Puckpedia. I almost said cat friendly. let me look at their Puckpedia. Oh gosh, all right.
old habits die hard.
yeah.
They're pretty locked into basically their whole forward core, including 16-team trade list Connor Sheary at $2 million. I
How many
Yeah.
years did they sign him to?
think it was like 2 or 3. I don't know. Too many. It should have been -1. But they're pretty locked in here. Same with this. They're pretty locked in. They've got like $3 million in space. Cam Atkinson, Luke Glendening, and Gage Gonsalves are their free agents. Atkinson and Glendening, they're probably out.
They were just kind of guys, right? I mean, they just got signed
Yeah.
to cheap, and they were just
Atkinson
guys
was
to
healthy
have.
scratched a lot. Glendening was a
Yeah.
4th line center and very good, and he was actually pretty good at. He was the defensive zone starting guy because he was pretty good at the draws.
I always
Uh,
forget that dude's still fucking in the league.
He's still
I'm
doing
not
it,
gonna
man.
lie.
36 years old, doing it. Gonsalves
'Cause
is
he-
actually a very good player, and actually was one of the few players that actually played okay in that Panthers series. He actually was
Right.
doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So I hope they can hold on to him. As far as like free agents, I don't see them going and doing anything. They got no space to do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't have the
I
flexibility.
don't think they
really
want to change all that much because like they got owned in the playoffs. They did,
Yeah,
but they were second in the Atlantic.
yeah. It's
I
not like
think-
they were bad this year.
I think honestly, I think they are okay running this back and seeing if they can't do a little more when the spring comes. That's
Yeah.
I honestly think that's kind of their thought. And
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? Honestly, they played like shitty ass butt in the playoffs. Like just like missed defensive coverage, like they don't need different players. They need a different system. They need a different system. They
Oh.
need more defensively sound, like,
How
systems.
how long is this? Are we starting to ask is John
If
Cooper
Cooper's on his
staying
way
there
out, no,
forever?
he's still there. He's still there,
Yeah.
and he'll figure it out. And he's not an idiot. Like he would have seen what we saw.
I would say
So-
he was not like he was watching that series being like, well, I thought they played
was-
perfect.
He
I
was
don't really
turned
know what happened."
around talking to some hot girl in the first row or something.
Yeah.
Like, no, he was watching. He sees what needed to happen. And if I'm him, I'm like, all right, we need to be just stop people from scoring. We need to turn into the Panthers.
Yeah.
we need to start playing like the Panthers play. It's it's copycat league. And that's honestly how they played for 3 years. That's how they played. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
Just got to
And
get back to it.
Just got to get back to it. And I love Kucherov. Last 3 playoffs, guy has been invisible.
Dude,
He is, I mean, very obviously one of the best forwards we've had the pleasure to watch in our time. But my God, if you get him off his game, that dude
Yes.
self-destructs. Like,
He just stops caring. And
yeah.
the problem is
it's
he
tough to
plays
watch
one
at that
way,
point.
and it's incredible to watch when it's working. And then when it's not working, it's like it's
There's not
just
much
not
else
working.
going on.
He's just giving
there,
the puck
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
The
Fucking guy
Lightning-
never shoots. Fucking shoot the puck.
the Lightning set the standard for right? No one could forget the third line of all third lines, right? Gaudreau, Gord, and Coleman, right? That was it.
Yeah.
Right. So getting back. I think if anything, getting back to having good depth also matters, right? Or purposeful depth, I guess is the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I do think what's his face? Brisebois, I've said this before, but I think the Coleman, Gaudreau, what's his face? You just said it. What was the third member of that line?
Gord.
Oh, Gord.
Gord.
Who's
That
back?
third line. Yes, actually, yeah, that contract. That's another thing we can talk about in a sec. But I do think him that line succeeding so well made him think, all right, well, we have the culture and the system, we can work anybody in. Leads to the what's his face, the dude from Nashville,
Oh, Jeannot.
yeah, Jeannot, or any other number of guys you bring in and out. But I would hope now he would be a little more careful, and I think he was. Honestly, I liked Tampa's deadline. I really liked what they did.
It's okay, but it's like, man, when you look at Florida's deadline, it's like,
Yeah.
like
But there's only so many deals to be made.
Very
and,
true.
I think in terms of well, granted, this is me where I'm in my head, I'm like, yeah, in 2017 when the Habs were first in the division, Mark Bergevin went out and got Dwight King, Steve Ott, and Andreas Martinson.
That's crazy.
Dwighty King. I don't even know who that is.
Dwight King, he did have, didn't he have a big goal or two in the overtime for the Kings on their runs or something?
Dude, yeah, those Kings runs, once again, Dwight King was a player. He just played his role with the Kings, won cups. He's like, all right, I'm out. See you later.
Yeah, by 2017, he wasn't very good.
Dwight King won a cup with the Los Angeles Kings.
Yes.
How did I not know this?
I
know.
What?
But I do think their deadline largely was good, and I like that they kept Gord around. I guess we'll go to that. How did you feel about the term and money on Gord?
I think it's fine. It's a little 2 point. What is it? I got the thing open. 2.3 for. Oh God, that's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2.3 for 5 years.
2.3.
It's 2.3
money
million,
wise.
dude.
That's fine. He's a very useful player. He'll be worth 2.3. Yeah, he'll
At
be fine.
highest, he's playing third line,
Right?
and that's as it should be.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was before, and
Yeah.
and guess what? He was fucking awesome in that role.
Yeah.
He is
And I
now.
think that'll be
5
good for
years
him
older?
to have a whole. Yeah, I think it'll be good for him to have that whole training camp in a year to be back with this team. And I think he'll get more closer to where he was back on those runs out of him going forward. And what you said, it was a 5 or 6 year deal. How long is it? 5.
Cinco.
I don't know that they care too particularly much about those last 2 years of that deal, because by then you're going to be really reckoning with the end of Hedman and Vasilevsky and you're not if they're not necessarily all going to be leaving by then, but the process of that core ending will have started. So I don't think they're
Yes.
all that worried about the last couple of years of that Gord deal. They're just
No.
happy to have him to maybe give one or two more real good kicks at the can here in the next few years, and I think they will.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, looking at it and looking at ages and stuff,
Yeah.
they got
it's not even Tampa's bad. It's just that's just the progression of time. Like
yeah,
everybody
they
gets
got
old.
about they got maybe 2 years to
And
get this thing done, and then at that point, Vicky Hedman's gonna be 36 years old. Like holy shit, and
And
Kucherov's
the
gonna be
particular
34.
He's gonna
the
be killing
particular
it.
way
Yeah,
Hedman plays, he's not going to be a gentle
Yeah, no. He's
36.
big.
His body is
He's
his
big and he
body
hits
has
stuff,
been
and yeah.
put through it. But one thing I will say is I hope for your sake that they do a better job of realizing where they're at than the Pittsburgh Penguins have.
So far, it's looking a little worrying. but,
Yeah.
but yeah, hopefully. The other thing I'll mention before we move on here, and this is it. This is a couple things actually. I'm excited to see Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Yeah.
To see
He's good.
what he can do here, because we only got a little glimpse of it, but
Yeah, and he got
he's a
hurt,
pretty good
right?
player.
He got
and
hurt
he got hurt. He
before
was
the playoffs
yeah.
or in
I
the
don't think
playoffs?
he didn't play in the playoffs at all.
Yeah.
And then the other one. This is the final year. Brandon Hagel. $6.5 million. Final year of no protection.
Okay. How
So
old is he?
if
Interesting.
he's 26, they're holding on to that guy
Oh.
unless they're really, really shitting the bed this year.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
even-
if he's
and
26,
even
that
if-
might even be a guy you want to keep around
Even if that,
anyway. He's
even if that's the
26.
case, they might move somewhere else. I just saw that and was like, oh, interesting. But yeah. Dude, look at this dude, Nikita Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov has a 10-team trade list.
That's crazy.
He doesn't even have a full no move.
Pierre Engvall.
That's Pierre Engvall better than Kucherov confirmed.
Confirmed. Based on that alone.
At least his agent's
Yeah.
better.
I mean,
Oh yeah. Unbelievable. But anyway, so yeah, that's Lightning. I think we're gonna end up seeing the same exact team, and we're just gonna have to hope for a few things. We need to hope for Vasi to be insane. That's pretty much it. And we're
Pretty
gonna have to hope for Connor Sheary to never see the ice.
what you got against Connor Sheary, man?
Listen, I don't hate Connor Sheary. I'm sure he's a great guy. He has been a god awful bolt. I mean, terrible.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
he's got to be mid to late 30s at this point too.
he is 33.
I was gonna.
He's actually
say, 'cause
younger
he
than Victor
was-
Hedman.
He was like
Wouldn't
one of
know
the. He was one of the random guy call ups on the
Penguins.
16, 17 Penguins
Yes.
back to backs.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he was good. He was good.
and he's been riding that reputation for a while. I
Well,
think.
listen, dude, there are a few bolts that I think of
Uh,
from the last few years that I think of, and I'm like, that dude is a terrible bolt. Like top, like bottom of the barrel as a Lightning
you gonna
player.
throw Zemgus Girgensons in there as well?
No,
Nobody's gonna throw in Tanner Janot.
Or has he actually been good?
Zemgus Girgenson's
oh.
been okay, dude. He's like a fourth liner, whatever. He does his thing.
Yeah.
The worst of all time that I can think of right now is Matthew Dumba. Oh my god, he was so fucking bad. Every time
that man had a fall off. Holy shit.
every time the Lightning got scored on, I look and there's 24, and I'm like, "Are you shitting me again, dude?
Yeah.
Just keep him off the ice, man."
You know what Matthew Dumba's highlight was for me? I think you already know what I'm going to say. You guys remember that insane save Bobrovsky made last year?
Yeah.
When he dove backwards and made it the save with his arm?
It was
Yeah.
because Matthew Dumba couldn't hit a fucking wide open.
Because he
was an
shot it at the
amazing
middle
save.
of the
It was-
net.
No, it was an amazing save. Like, it was an amazing save, 100%. There's a little bit, but like, also, if that was a different player, that puck would be in the net. Let's be real.
Dude, this is what I remember
Must be
about Matt Dumba. Is one time there was a fucking play in the I forget even who the team was, but there's like a scramble in the other team's end, and it goes the other way, and I see behind the play fucking Matt Dumba behind the play going back to the Lightning's end. I'm like, why are you so low? Are you not the fucking defenseman? Oh god, dude. And then he went to Dallas and he never played because they know more. They know more. They know better than to put him on the ice.
They still signed him, but
They did sign him. That was a mistake. But
Dallas has Cody Ceci. Dallas can only they have to choose one: Cody Ceci or Matt Dumba, and Cody Ceci beat him out. So if you get beat out by Cody Ceci,
hey, that's Mr. Game 7 Cody Ceci to you. He always scores in Game 7s. Problem was they didn't get to a Game 7 against Edmonton. That was the issue. If they had, Cody Ceci would have made you all see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cody Ceci played for Edmonton last year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It did, and he scored. I'm pretty sure. Did he not score the one goal?
That's I just remember that being the joke. I don't know actually what his stats are like, but I know the joke is that he often scores specifically in Game 7s. But
anyway, moving on. We'll do a little speed run. Sorry, I had to go off there for a second about Matt Dumba. Also, can I just say, like, the Hart Trophy sucks. Can I just throw that out?
The Hart Trophy?
Like, and it's not this year's, because Connor Hellebuck earned that shit this year.
That makes sense, yeah.
I'm talking about last year.
Who was last year?
It was Nathan McKinnon. But it should have been Nikita Kucherov. But they
I remember.
But they didn't want to. You know what it was? It's because he dicked around in the All-Star game, and now everybody hates him.
And Gary was like, I don't know.
They're like, no, we will not give you this. Remember, because he fucking factored in on like 60% of the Lightning's goals.
It was
with 144 points. He had 100 assists, 44 goals. No,
do we remember what
enough.
McKinnon's stat line was?
He had more goals, less assists.
Yeah.
Didn't McKinnon get 50 something last year? Didn't he break 50
goals? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, Kucherov nearly got 50.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean, well, I think at least that one is like, yes, Kucherov maybe, but like that's one where you could be like, okay, at least these make sense. The one that sticks out in my head is like Taylor Hall popping off for a year in New Jersey, and they're like, yeah, him. Like, there's some. If you go back, there's some Leo DiCaprio in Revenant, or Revenant. Is it Revenant?
Yeah, Revenant.
Yeah.
He kills that bear
movie,
and he's in the cold water or whatever.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
There are a lot of Hart trophies where it's like, all right, you're being a little difficult.
Yeah. But hey, this is first.
I like the Ted Lindsay as well because that's voted on by the players.
Yes. Yes. I believe I believe Kucherov has a few of those.
Yeah.
But hey, congrats to Connor Hellebuck, first goalie since old Carey.
Yeah,
to win the Hart Trophy. Look at that.
Indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna read off some UFA names. I want you guys to each come up with a team or a couple teams, whatever you have the feeling of where you think this player's going. The Rat.
Do you want to do a team and a number?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, if you got it, whatever you can muster up within, a reasonable amount of time. All right.
So the Rat, Brad Marchand.
The Rat, Brad Marchand himself.
Yeah. Rat King.
Rat King.
Indeed.
Standards.
Oh, Nikki with the Florida.
You think he's going to be among the grouping stays in Florida? All right. How long? How much?
I don't know. I'm not going to go that because it's so hard to.
No, yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna do numbers. Benny, you can do numbers because you come up with that shit.
Okay.
But what do you think then, Ben? What do you think?
Brad Marchand, I think
What a guy.
the Leafs are gonna buy into the hype, and they're gonna be like,
Ooh.
he has spurned us so many times. We must make him join us.
I will say
Uh,
that clip or that like segment on SDP. I don't know if you guys are listening to that, where they were like, his final act against the Leafs will be to join them and suck out loud.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty good.
That's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
no, that does seem like a likely scenario, but I do think they're still gonna buy in on the hype. I think they're gonna only give him 2 years, but because they're only giving him 2 and some other people are gonna be doing 3 or 4, they're gonna be paying him $9 million a year for 2 years.
That's
I
crazy.
don't think he cares
Flip that.
about money.
I don't think that will work
Win.
because I think at this point it's total money. I think he's looking for total
Yeah.
money. He's not looking for, but who knows if he's trying to win again. But shit, he just won. He just won and he already won in 2011.
Yeah.
Like he literally is one of the few players that's like, just give me the most amount of money.
Yeah.
Like I don't need
You want to
anything
sign me
else.
to 10 years, $7 million a year? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll take it personally.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh god.
I actually don't think he'd do that because like you don't want to go and have a terrible time for your
Yeah.
last few
Yeah.
years.
But where do you think he's going, Mickey?
Shit, man, I don't know. Toronto is interesting. I just don't know if they can make it work. You know what, Eric? I
Yeah.
gotta do some little bit of research here, but Rick, what do you think?
This is gonna be interesting. This is just like a cap space thing for me.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys saw the other day, the Seattle Kraken traded away Andre Burakovsky for Joe Veleno.
Yes.
Yes,
Some
I
shit
did
like
see that.
You know what? They got some young guys there, right? They have the cap space. Marchand to Seattle.
They were in my head. But
Marchand to Seattle.
who's in my head even more?
Anaheim?
The New York Rangers.
Oh God, please no.
What about the
I-
New York Rangers? They got 13 mil in cap space right now. Whole lot of people signed. Not a lot of people to re-sign.
Yeah, true. They
They
got rid
need,
of.
they need better help than Marchand, clearly, from this year.
Yes, but
But do you think a guy like Marchand could come in and maybe help? Because like clearly
does he fix the room?
the locker room, was not in the best of states this year for New York. I
And they've been
wonder if,
talking
like,
about
he could be
shipping
the
out
ultimate culture guy.
Mika.
Because he
Yeah.
sucks.
I that's the thing. He doesn't though. Like
Boy,
I-
he does
I
a good
don't-
impersonation of it sometimes. Though.
I like it's hard to be like, yeah, Mika's a manager. I forgot how to play hockey. Like there was just so much bad in New York this year where it's hard to just base it on this year alone. But I mean, resistance or not resistance.
Resistance is futile. Yeah, I don't
Recency bias. That's what I
there
was
you go,
trying to
there you
say.
go, yeah.
I don't know what New York's doing, but
Yeah.
Marchand to New York, eh? Who said that?
That's interesting. That was Nick. That was Nick.
Okay.
No, it was me.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All
Probably
right,
not great.
Who's
A
next?
great sign
Who's
for
next?
my short-term
I
memories.
know,
I literally
it's
didn't-
terrible.
I-
Did I just say?
It's Rick. Rick, what do you think?
Rick said.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Seattle.
Seattle.
trying to
That's
be-
it. That's a good
I'm
one
trying
too.
to be, you know why? Because guys, does Seattle have an identity?
No.
No, not really.
You know what better place to start than a fucking Rat King, right?
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't.
They got Marchand, or
Seattle
they
can
got Marchment too. Imagine those two, Marchment
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Marchand.
sorry, that's the guy I was thinking of. Sorry, yeah, Marchman and Marchand. There we go. Now we're building something. Now we're getting a little feisty.
I'm interested to see where this year goes with them because they confuse me.
They're confusing.
I don't know what their plan is. Ron Francis was never really all that great a GM in Carolina. Then he went there, and now he moved upstairs into the president's job to bring in Jason Botterill.
I don't know who that
The
is.
guy who he was the guy before. He might be 2 guys ago by now for Buffalo, but he was one of the many in the line of Buffalo travesties. He was one of them.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just like, what are you doing?
listen,
Although
got
I
a
guess
plan, all right, and they're sticking to it. But hey, moving on.
they brought up the fucking coach that they had like it was Dan Bilesma who they had been like had with the
Oh, yeah.
AHL team,
I remember that.
and he was like, all right, he got really good with them. Now he's getting a second chance. He's gonna be able to prove himself with Seattle, and then they gave him 1 year this year, and he's already fired.
Oh, well.
Like I just don't get. I don't.
Yeah. Well,
I don't get it.
I also don't get it. But we're gonna move on here and go to Sammy Bennett.
No, he's also staying in Florida, 100%.
Oh, Nikki thinks Florida's running it back, dude. That'll piss me off beyond belief. If they end up with all 3 of them back.
I don't think Ekblad will be back, but I do believe Bennett will be back. And I think
I'm going Florida too, based on my Ekblad theory from before. I'm in agreement with Nick, Florida.
I'm gonna semi-agree with them because I think Marchand's gonna be the one leaving Florida, and I think Bennett and Ekblad are both gonna stay. Bennett, I think, is going to sign a really annoyingly team-friendly deal because he really likes it there and wants to win a bunch more cups. I think.
Can you blame him to want to stay with Kachuk and Reinhardt and Barkov?
No, you can't.
It's like,
you can't blame
no.
him. No, you really can't.
I think it's gonna be like a. I mean, he's kind of up there in age at this point. How old is he?
He's 29, 30. I'll tell you in
okay.
uno second here. Where the hell is his name?
I think it's gonna be somewhere around like 6 years,
29.
7 or 8 mil a year, and people are gonna be really annoyed that it's only 7 or 8 mil a year.
Yeah.
Because I think he wants to stay there. I don't think he was lying when he said he wasn't fucking leaving.
But I don't think you make a statement like that and then say, never mind.
Dude, he's blasted out of his mind. He's just
I think at that current exact moment he probably could have said just about any number of things.
He's just saying words, man.
Yeah.
But listen, once the offers start coming in and he starts really weighing his options, he might be changing his tune a little bit. I think he's gonna leave because I think the Florida Panthers have their internal cap. Their internal cap is essentially Bobrovsky. You're not gonna make more than Bobrovsky, which I think is 10.5, which he won't make anyway. But what is it 10 million? Yeah, 10 million for Barkov, 9.5 for Kachuk, 8.6 for Reinhardt. Like, he won't make more than that. You've got to assume.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there will be a team that offers him $10 million this year. Per year. I don't know how long, but there will be a team that offers him that if he makes it to July 1st.
Yeah.
What that team will be, I don't know. But if I'm Toronto, that's where I'm looking. I'm not so much looking at Brad Marchand. I'm looking more at Bennett. He's younger. He's bigger. He plays the same way. That's where I'm looking if I'm Toronto. So I'm essentially replacing Mitch Marner with Sam Bennett, which during the regular season probably won't look so great, but man, when you get in the playoffs, it's going to look real nice.
But one of them is tough, and one of them is a baby.
And one of them just led the league, the postseason in scoring.
And won the Conn Smythe.
And the other one
got beat by the guy.
Yes,
who
exactly. So if I'm Toronto, that's where I'm looking.
Interesting.
Okay. That makes sense.
Who's next on this list?
Next on the list, a little bit of a wild card here. Nick Ehlers.
Oh,
Nicky Ehlers. What do we think?
So this is where I'm gonna go full homer and be extremely biased. And Nick Ehlers is gonna be coming to play with his best friend Patrick Laine. With the Montreal Canadiens for 7 years at $8 million a year.
Okay.
All right. You
Yeah.
currently are at $6.1 million in cap space.
That's fine.
All right. I just thought I would bring that up.
They'll move some money out. That's fine.
Move some money out. Brendan Gallagher? Oh, he's got a no move.
Josh, you know what? I know this has been a joke for a very long time because I used to mean it sarcastically because nobody would ever trade for Josh Anderson's contract. He actually did a lot to rehabilitate his game this year.
Yeah.
If there was ever going to be a year that they could maybe pull off moving out Josh Anderson with like a sweetener to get the cap space, this would be the summer because he actually did a lot. Like the line of him, Dvorak, and Gallagher was like a really good shutdown line, which helped because they didn't really have a second line center, so they needed to use that more than they probably would. But I do think that they could genuinely move him out. So who knows?
All right.
So I think Nick Ehlers or the Habs. Fuck yeah, let's go.
There you go. Anybody else got any thoughts on Nick Ehlers?
Not
I think
gonna
he's
happen,
probably
but-
staying. I think he's probably just gonna stay. Winnipeg's
Yeah.
got tons of cap space.
Plus, they just brought in Taves.
They're
so
good. Yeah, like I don't.
He wants to play with him. Old Johnny T.
Dude, he's got 20. They have 24, so $22 million in cap space.
Damn.
Good God.
Yeah. I have nothing different.
All right then.
You'll all see.
Easy enough.
Come
You
July
know.
1st, you'll all see.
All right, and then the last one I have, if you guys have any that I have not mentioned, please bring them up. But last one I have is, of course, Mitch Marner, the big fish. We'll call him the big fish. Again, he always craps his pants. Like I don't. He's one of the.
Yeah.
He's. It's very odd because he's like. He's very good in the regular season. Again, he's not a world beater in the regular season because he's had 100-point season. One.
He will get points.
He will get you
He
some
will get
points, and you'll win some games because of him, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Until you get to the spring. And then that kind of goes away. It just goes away. Like, so, I don't know. Like, there's
It's been beaten into the ground on the Steve Dangle podcast as
Yeah.
well that yes, you'll look at his playoff stats and some runs will look a little better than others, but it's like year in and year out. Every time it gets to game like 4, 5, 6, 7, there's nothing. He'll have like a few multi-point games in games like 1 through 3. It makes his stat line look really nice, and then game 5, 6, 7 comes around and. Well, in 2021, they got scored on, and then like a little while later, he stands, and then they get scored on again after he gets a delay of game penalty or like shit like that. Like
he just like
every time it becomes the big moment,
he cracks.
He's not quite there.
He cracks under the pressure.
Well, guess what?
The thing is, I do fully think that when he's not in that situation anymore, he'll be in a better spot mentally.
You think so?
Like I do fully think the Toronto of it all, being a kid who grew up as a Toronto fan, being a part of that, admitted like it's overblown to a degree, but like no, it is also an insane media market. Like it's
100%.
it definitely gets overblown to
It's
a
like-
sense.
It's like Toronto and then Montreal are like the two.
Yeah. Montreal, I would argue, they only might be a little tougher because you get French and English people yelling
Toronto,
about you.
it's in 2 languages. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Tabarnak.
But I do think there's a very good chance of like all the Buffalo guys going elsewhere situation where I think he goes somewhere in the right situation. He could end up being good.
A lot of people are bringing up the Vegas Golden Knights as they always seem to land the big fish.
I mean,
you guys think that
does
No.
what happens
No.
here?
I mean, not like they've been shy about doing any kind of gymnastics they need to figure out the cap.
Mhm.
That just seems like I don't know if they need that. Although I mean, because he's a right wing, right? And
Well, that's the thing with his with
Stone is also a right wing as well, right?
that's the thing with
Because like
him is like
Stone is sort of aging out, and I mean, you're, yeah, it's been a joke about, oh yeah, well Stone, he's got to get his yearly injury to be put on LTIR, but like
yeah,
there have been injuries, and like they do kind of keep getting worse, and like
they
I
start to pile
it's
up.
not like they've been shy about being ruthless with things in the past. It would not shock me to see a situation of like they view Stone as kind of wrapping up and we're gonna slot in the next star winger on our team. If you can find a way to
Yeah.
move Stone's money out and bring him in, that could be interesting.
That might be the case.
I don't know. I don't
That
have
might
a
be the
guess for
case.
this one because
They have a lot
there's like
that they need to
any
do
number
too.
of scenarios.
They have a lot that they need to fill up here. Like they only have like what is we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 forwards, so they're missing a whole line. They're gonna.
It would be interesting as like the first big swing of like restructuring your team, bringing him in.
Well, does he possibly
don't know.
go? Like, does he possibly go to a team that is bad now, but like kind of on the
Yeah.
upswing? Like I'm
Yeah.
talking like a San Jose maybe. Like they showed a little bit
My-
of
you know
promise.
what?
The one I'd be interesting there for him in my eyes would be Anaheim, because Anaheim they were sneakily, like, I think if they were in the Eastern Conference they would have been solidly in the playoff race, because the
Oh, let
Eastern
me look.
Conference final I want to
They
say
were ahead of the
like in
Habs. You think they were ahead of the Habs?
I don't know if they were ahead, but I think like if they were in the East they would have at least been in the talks. Like they wouldn't have made it, but like they would have been within scratching distance. I might be remembering wrong.
Dude, how do
But,
I see the standings?
Final 2024
I hate this
25
website.
NHL. Yeah, I'm not even going to the NHL.
Gosh,
Yeah, I just
damn
found it.
it.
I found it on Google.
Freddie Anderson with the top goals against average. Hey, things I didn't need to know.
Yeah, the Ducks finished with 80 points.
Oh wow.
The Habs had 91. Okay, so it wasn't as close as I thought, but like there was times during the year where like they were solidly talking about it because they have 2 good goalies. They have Dostal and Gibson, who's returned to a bit of form as he's got more people. I really like where they're going, and in terms of a market where he could sort of go and be himself, and just it
Kinda
would be a
go
lot more
fly under the
out of
radar.
the limelight. I think that place could really work for him, and also there's so many different possibilities where he could go, like a long-term deal, short-term deal. I don't know what it is, so I'm just going to say Anaheim for,
All right.
I don't know, 6 years,
Nice.
12.5 mil.
Nice. I'm gonna.
Chicago.
Oh, there we go.
He's going with Bedard.
Nikki coming
Chicago?
in with Chicago. That could be
Marner
a
setting up Bedard.
new duo.
There's worse combos to have. Like I feel like they probably could feast
I'm not
a little.
sure if Chicago can give up enough assets to make it work.
Right,
Right,
no
'cause he's
assets to
free,
give
right?
up. He's just signing them.
Oh, he's a free agent.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 Oh,
He's
you got
free,
one.
dude.
So
They just got to give him money.
Yeah.
See, that's
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Gonna be a lot of money. How much is it for a Chicago deal? Do you think?
Oh, he's making 13.5 mil a year.
I was
in
gonna
I
say
would
Chicago.
say 12.
He's
and
making Austin Matthews money.
Matthews plus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Utah because screw it. He wants to be a mammoth, bitches. He's gonna be the He's gonna be the mammoth.
Random quick side tangent. It pisses me off that they made that singular. Why is it one mammoth?
I
I
believe.
hate singular team names.
Is it not mammoth? Is that not the plural of mammoth?
It might be. You might have me
Plural
on a
of
word
mammoth
thing.
is mammoths, so it's not.
Oh,
So there
okay.
is an S.
So yeah,
So you're
my anger-
justified.
my anger is valid. Why? Why do you do this? Like, at least for like singular team names like the Lightning or the Avalanche, it is
like-
Lightning.
yeah.
That's just the term. Like
not
whatever.
Lightnings.
But Mammoth is it's mammoths. That's many of them. You're a team of mammoths. Why? I hate singular. That's just my own. That's my own thing in my head where like I
Each
just
of
hate
them
singular
is
team
one.
names.
Each player is
but-
one part of the mammoth. One's the
I
right
guess.
leg, left leg, rear leg.
Also, that
Tusk.
fucking EASHL ass jersey.
It is, man. I
that-
feel like I've made that.
I've made almost exactly that jersey on like
It's
5 different
uh,
NHL games.
It kind of is
But-
hurting, but hey, dude, it's you know what? There's more going on there than there is on the fucking Lightning jersey, so I can't really say a whole lot.
You know, you're not
Lightning
wrong.
jersey
But,
is so boring, dude.
Mitch Marner to the Utah Mammoth. All right.
Yep, he's gonna play with Sergman on the first PP.
Certainly.
Alrighty.
That's right. That's right. Rick, you are the final. You're the final person to go here.
So, guys, you remember when Toronto kept signing some veterans, right? Every year in the playoffs, think it would make a difference. Do you guys remember who some of those veterans were? Joe Thornton.
Oh, threw
Joey
some
Thornton,
Joe
hell
Thornton
yeah.
in there, some Wayne Simmons,
Patty
some,
Marleau, yep.
Got
Patty
some Kyle Clifford in there action
Right, right.
randomly.
I
one
know where
time.
Eric's going with this.
Oh yeah, you do. You remember on social media, right? Uncle Mitch, Uncle Austin, right? Hanging out with Jumbo Joe, Patty Marlowe, the fan.
Oh, so he's going to San Jose.
Rich Marner needs a reset from all this tough mental stuff he has to go. The poor guy's only making 11 mil. Must be hard on the brain. So he's gonna go to San Jose. He's gonna be like, "Yo, Uncle Patty, Uncle Joe, your nephew is here," and they're gonna be like, "Hell yeah, dude. We're not gonna be good now. Don't worry about that playoff pressure. Vibe out. We got Max Celebrini. We got Will Smith.
Come live in
We-
California. There's no snow. You don't have to do like
Yeah,
you don't
there's
have to
no
drive
snow.
through the snow in the winter.
So whatsoever." And guess what? Blue overrated. What about T? That shit is awesome, dude. And there we go. There's my sales pitch. Mitch Marner's going to be a San Jose Shark, and they have the cap space for it. But I think that adds to another dynamic player to their offense, and I think the Sharks should be interested in a player like that.
Oh yeah, no, it would make a ton of sense for them.
And they have the cap space to do it. But yep, I think that's going to matter. The Mitch Marner stuff.
Yeah, certainly could. Good lord.
Were you furiously looking up there?
I was looking up state taxes.
Oh yeah, that is the one thing. He'll get fucking jobbed
hold on.
going to California, but
Hold on, we're gonna settle this right now. If the Buffalo Sabres had no state tax, would players want to go there?
No.
No,
It's
but
not just-
it is a
Not in the
factor.
current situation.
It is
not
a
in the current
factor. I'm
situation.
just gonna say
but-
that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
It is-
it definitely is.
it's a factor, just like Buffalo being a shit franchise is a factor. Like
Yes,
there's a
Yeah.
lot of
100%. But let me
Yeah.
do some quick math here, just because I'm interested. There's quick math. Quick math. Sorry.
This won't be
Oh my
foolproof because
God.
you also are taxed different. You'd be taxed California rate for your home games, then you'd be taxed whatever the rate is wherever you go for
That's
the other 41 games. But that is how it works.
Oh,
It's
alright.
because they're actually doing the work in.
I see. I thought it would be
The other
wherever the
places.
company was based, wherever the
No.
franchise
No,
was
it's-
based.
It's
location
different
of
for.
Ah, okay.
work performance. Yeah.
Well, for his home games, he's
but
going to be
it'd
taxed.
close enough.
It's
Yeah.
his home games in Carolina or California, excuse me. He would be taxed. Sorry, I'm still doing math. Nearly 50%
Damn. Yeah.
because federally is 37% when you're making that much money, and then plus the 12% from California.
Right.
Like he's giving up half of his fucking money for those half games, dude.
So when
Like-
when Gary Bettman tells you that, oh no, the Florida teams, they don't have any advantage. No, they do.
They got a little one. They got a little one.
Yeah.
But honestly,
like,
it's more.
As Eric was saying,
Yeah.
there's any number, like, because
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter what your state tax situation is when the Tampa and Florida were in the management situations and like general play they were in the 2000s. Like,
No,
it doesn't
Sam
matter.
Ryan-
They suck ass.
nobody wanted to
Sam
play
Ryan-
there.
Sam Reinhart did not score 4 goals in the Stanley Cup final because of the fucking state tax. Buffalo did not know how to develop
Yeah.
him, and they went to a team that finally was good, and then he did it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He was they developed him decently. They just couldn't do anything with him when
Yeah,
When-
that's
yeah.
when it mattered.
They also didn't need to like rush to trade him away for not a crazy return though. That was something they just chose to do.
Yeah, listen.
Um
Everyone makes mistakes.
no more Buffalo talk. Sorry, no more Buffalo talk.
Everyone makes
so
mistakes.
Irrelevant.
well it is comforting to know that no matter where all of our teams there's a decent chance we can always just punch down at Buffalo.
The Sabres had a 13-game losing streak, and then they beat the Islanders to end it. I won't. I
uh
Well, hey,
I can't.
hey, that's gonna do it then. That's gonna do it. We've been going nearly 2 hours, gentlemen. First show back in
yeah,
2
we got
months. That's
chatting.
why.
We
That's
got
what happens.
chatting.
That's what happens. But hey, we'll see everybody when we see you. I don't know when. Could be 2 weeks from now. Maybe we'll do one after the free agent frenzy. We'll have to wait and
Yep.
see.
We
But
could do. I mean, I don't know if we can even. If we're not all busy next Sunday, that'll be post draft. So
could do one post draft. Could do a little mini or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you when we see you, and stay well. All right. Peace out.